The monster had held onto Sandalphon's clothes, and Rainild tried calling him. But he told Rainild to run away instead, while he would try to free himself from the monster. Sandalphon eventually got himself freed from the monster, and due to the anger in him he carried his spear and smashed it on the monster, and it hurt the monster. However, the monster said to Sandalphon that if Sandalphon possessed a heart, then he should not be able to flee the sound of the trumpet. That's the melody of the lowest repose. So the monster went ahead and blew the trumpet, but Rainild wondered if the heart dominating the heavenly trumpet was working. Rainild could not get himself at a point, as he coughed for a while, still calling out for Sandalphon to know his whereabouts. He kept calling Sandalphon's name, but couldn't get a reply back. Luciel was seen with Rainold, still under Luciel's spell. Luciel was eager to know what the angel opponents will do against the power of creation possessed by the moon, so he decided to hurry up if he wants to watch it. Therefore, he woke Rainold up, and Rainold woke up as he gasped. Luciel then reminded him of what he told him earlier, that he had something to show him, whereby he asked him to look under his feet as he really meant it. And Rainold does exactly what he asked him to do, so he saw a black hole which he was scared of. Luciel, hearing what Rainold referred to, he was shocked, as he believed that humans truly lack inspiration, because he saw that the thing was more beautiful than giving it such a cheap name. Therefore he refers to it as a star, which is called the horizon of the void, which is also known as the home of those that are forever dead. The horizon of the void is also the inside of Lord Dark Lessa's stomach, whereby that was the place where Rainold's previous soul, Diane, was said to have gone to. Rainold, trying to get what Luciel meant, decided to confirm if Luciel actually means that falling into a place like that horizon of the void and dying there is called salvation. Luciel did not answer if he was right or not, but he only told him that Ray himself did not know what was in that horizon, although he may know, but not definitely. So he urged Rainold not to fear, because he could see it on his face, and he reminded him of the past, when he had stood before the horizon before. Luciel now asked Rainold if he knew why Ra actually took him to that place. But he did not, so he explained to him that it was only because of balance, as he also let Rainold know that his soul was an energy that could no longer evolve. Therefore he is considered as a final product, whereby if it's added with the universe time he used, the weight of light grew obviously. Moreover, according to Luciel, he said Rainold's soul shall become food for Lord Dark Lessa, and he asked if Rainold knew that there were countless deaths buried in the soil. He also let Rainold know that if something new was to be born, then there is a huge sacrifice attached to it, which is salvation. So it won't look like he is lying, he asked Rainold to also consider everyone in their circle of reincarnation against the cancerous disease of that universe. Therefore he told Rainold that they all must disappear for paradise to come. Nonetheless, Luciel said all those things were not for the sake of humanity, because if they all reincarnate, they won't remember their past selves. So he wondered what reincarnation matters to their lives, as it's just like the bridle of suffering that never ends. However, Luciel told him that the only thing that will save their souls from that prison is a cold and meaningless darkness. The only way to become is to become part of the natural flow, because Luciel said there was nothing to fear, as it is what was meant to be, since it is natural. Luciel later asked Rainold to look under his feet and check the holes, whereby he was told that his blossoming was planted in the emptiness of a tens of billions of deaths, and it was said to have been happening before, since the king could never obtain eternity. Therefore, whenever a flower has blossomed, Rainold would witness its withering, as the process is called creation. Rainold was still angry at Luciel, as he still blamed Luciel at the end of it, condemning him for the situation at which the world was in, because he felt like the world would have been better than that if not for Luciel. Luciel was just angry back at him, as he already knew that his behavior was due to human limitations, because he could see that Rainold did not think about the future, but was only concerned about the present. So Luciel promised that he was going to save the infinite future. Finally, Luciel told Rainold that if there was endless birth in the works, then there would be endless death, just like flowing water. And who can turn all that into a possibility is Lord Dark Lessa, in which Luciel also promised to make the world a perfect balance through her as well. Rainild was still seen where he was looking for Sandalphon, and was hearing a sound which he did not know where it was coming from, and did not also know what was going on. So he decided to communicate on the screen with Uriel, asking if Uriel could see the kind of situation he was in, and Uriel replied that he could. But he also let Uriel know that he could not communicate with Sandalphon. So Uriel advised him to return to the heavens immediately, as that place he was in is very dangerous. Actually, Rainild did not want to leave, as he was worried about Sandalphon, so he asked if Uriel had contacted other brethren, which he replied that he had done. Then Uriel let Rainild know that Gabriel and Mit are doing their own jobs respectively in far locations. Rainild sounded somehow surprised because he did not know about that information before. So Rainild had to explain to him that Gabriel went to search for someone, while Mit was at a historic site. Rainild was concerned when he heard that, and he questioned Uriel on why Mit went there, but Uriel could not give a response. Rainild then quickly left the place he was and disappeared to go and meet Uriel, because he didn't know why everyone went separate just like Gabriel and Mit, when they all planned that they would all look for Luciel. He saw that they were all traitors, which was not supposed to be, not even long after Lord Re left them. However, Uriel could see how angry Rainild was, yet he still tried to calm him down, letting him know that others might have gone somewhere else because of something, and not that because they are traitors. But Rainild did not want to hear what Uriel has to know, since he sees nothing bad in the fact that they all should go and save Sandalphon. Surprisingly, Uriel refused to follow him, apologizing that he cannot fight at Rainild's side, since he was not made to fight. When Rainild saw that Uriel was not ready to help, he thought Labiel should be able to. Unfortunately, Uriel replied that he could not contact Labiel, since he believed that Rainild already knew that no one has ever approved their current actions. Rainild was quite shocked that Labiel was out of contact, which made him wonder what would happen. As Rainild already saw discomfort with how everyone behaved, he asked if Uriel can just take off his white crown, even though he knew that Lord Re permitted it. Since he knew that Luciel had betrayed them and Michaela on his own, was acting all alone because they could not monitor them. And now, Uriel that was left to support Rainild also chose to be alone, as complicit in Michael's incident. Uriel got so angry that he shouted at Rainild, letting him know that he can never take off his white crown. As they were about fighting and arguing, Gabriel contacted them through the screen and saw the situation at hand, consoling both of them not to fight. Gabriel then let Rainild know that he could hear everything he talked about, but was confused on who Rainild was referring to when he talked about betrayal. However, he let them remind Rainild that he had been looking for someone for a while. But he was quite sure that Mit would never betray them. Gabriel has the belief that one day, in accordance with Lord Ra's will, everyone will burn their white crowns and be independent. Although Labiel might have burnt his own crown, but Gabriel knew he would have done that for a reason. Even Gabriel knew that Labiel, or sometimes Raphael, is the name considered to be humanity's most beloved angel, as he knew that he is the most righteous brother. Back at Luciel and Rainold, Luciel was touring Rainold as he remembered a goat who loves eating flowers anything except in contact with it, so that made him hated the animal, which is why he had always wanted to torture Rainald as well. But because of Lord Re was watching Rainold, he could not do a thing, although he still tortured him a bit but not contented with it. Now that Lord Re had died, he could do as he wished. Rainold got more angry with the way Luciel even hated animals, which made him find Luciel more disgusting, even though he was already beaten up. But Luciel reminded Rainold that it was Rainold who talked in true pain due to Rainold's spear which pierced his body. Rainold told Luciel not to compare themselves together, as he knew that Luciel was just a piece of trash who understands nothing about humans, not to talk of what friends and families means, which is why he is cruel. But Luciel explained to Rainold that it was because of Lord Dark Lessa that Rainold could believe in Lord Ra. If not for that, Lord Ra is just like a single goat to him. While they were still talking, Soreth came just in time, and he introduced Rainold to Soreth as someone that Dorath would kill. Then he let Rainold know that it is time for him to go, as Soreth would be his guide. Rainold, knowing well that Soreth came to kill him, wondered why on earth Luciel would refer Soreth to as his guide. So Luciel explained to him that he meant Soreth would guide him to the horizon of the void. And before Rainold would know it, Soreth already moved closer to him, opening his mouth wide to consume Rainold. Just when Soreth was about killing Rainold, Labiel, whom Luciel Due addressed as Labiel, came in for him, whom Rainold himself did not know, as Labiel turned his back at him, telling Rainold to move back so he can fight with Soreth. But Labiel moved closer to Luciel, as it seemed that he had business with him. He let Luciel know that he heard that he was a traitor, which made him think that Luciel had made new friends for him to do that. Luciel then called out Labiel's name. That was when Rainold could get that it was Labiel. Immediately he found out, he yelled at top of his voice, but Labiel was not interested in what he was saying, as he just told him that they would talk later. Labiel already removed his white crown before he got there, which Luciel also took notice of. He asked him why he removed it, but Labiel also let Luciel know that he cannot defeat him. Rather, he just dealt with Soreth and made sure he ended him. Then move on to Luciel, and since Luciel already sees that Labiel has dealt with his new friend, then he decides to deal with Labiel as well, as he summons the dog of the void to arise. Immediately Rainold saw that he was already scared, and Labiel saw that the dog of the void could hurt him, so he used his power to push Rainold back, and he fell. Rainold, feeling the pain, let Labiel know that he can die with the way he landed on the floor, but Labiel told him not to bother, as he promised to treat him later, after he is done with Luciel. Thereafter, Labiel also awakened his own light's call, Titan of Lignum Vitae. Thereby, 2 angels appeared, spears each. Then he commanded them to punish, so they moved on to deal with the dog. Luciel, observing the angels, could see that the 2 angels were holding a spear made with the water of life. He commended Labiel for that. And also Labiel asked about his own spear, that he also got from Lord Re, which was made with was of life. Although Labiel knew that Luciel has discarded Lord Ra's holy word, but he belittled the power Luciel had obtained afterwards. However, Luciel made him understand that even if he had not thrown away the holy word, the spear would attack Labiel, even though he is still of Lord Ra. But if he commanded it, he was sure that it would do against Labiel, because he said Labiel was the one of the eminent 3 most faithful. But he now showed him the dog he summoned earlier, which was a monster, just as the demon's dog called Aldebaran. Luciel referred to the dog as a human, and surprisingly, the dog changed its form into a lady. That shocked Labiel, but then he remembered the face to be one of the souls that Luciel had lost track of, that had never returned. So he now understood that those are the souls that Luciel was making use of, as he now gets Luciel's doings. Even Luciel could not argue, as he knew that Labiel was correct, so it was not the demons that he was making use of, as the demons cannot do such things. Yet Labiel still wondered who could have liked Luciel, so Luciel replied that it was the void, since Luciel can actually summon everything that is locked in the void, which is why he could summon the dog the other time. That is why he does refer to himself as the angel of contracts and locations. The interesting part was that Luciel's friends can open the path to the void, which makes everything work out fine for him. At this point, Labiel moved towards the lady and carried her and tried confirming from her if they really opened the void's door, as he could see that her darkness has no equal. Therefore, he decided to know if she does follow Dark Lessa. As Luciel saw that Labiel was becoming more interested with the lady, he decided to take his leave, leaving the lady with Labiel as a present. While leaving, he remembered a guy on the floor, which he did not want to fight with him, due to the connection he thought they had. But he used his power to tie the guy down, which Labiel tried stopping him from doing. And Luciel left, while Labiel was happy for the fact that he now got the clue of where the souls that never returned are kept. Although he actually planned on doing things in moderation. But he was thoroughly entangled in something else right then, which actually pained him. Since Rainold saw that he was done, he then asked what he came there to do. Later he remembered that he came to save him, but he asked him why he had decided to help him. However, Labiel did not give him a particular answer, rather he gave him a stern look, and Rainold already knew that he had passed his boundary, whereby he quickly apologized to him. Labiel just went ahead to heal him, and he was completely healed, even better than before. Rainold was so happy, so Labiel let him know that he may later become the apostle of medicine, in which it made Rainold remember a doctor because of Labiel's grumpiness. But as Rainold was talking about it, Labiel quickly told him to keep shut. Instead, he asked Rainold to contact other apostles to let them know everything that Rainold has seen and heard where he was. Also, he informed him that he had already burnt his white crown, which is why he cannot communicate with others, and also why others cannot trust him anymore. Whereas Rainold did not know how to use the white crown, as he didn't even know that it was like a phone, in which they used to communicate. So he asked Labiel to teach him how to use it, because if not, he would have to wait until the apostles got there so they can talk to them. However, Labiel told him that they cannot wait, rather he would show him how to use it, as he just helped him summon his white crown. Rainold was shocked and scared of wearing it, but Labiel let him know that his white crown is special, which will not limit his power, even as he wears it, since it was Lord Ra that made it that way. Yet Rainold was still behaving somehow to the crown, as he just collected it from Labiel, tore it, then mashed it on the floor. That got Labiel upset, asking him if he was okay to have done that. Surprisingly enough, the crown did not get destroyed, as another one appeared again on Labiel's hand, so this time Labiel made him understand that he cannot destroy the crown unless he burns it. Then, as Labiel explained it to him, he summoned on fire and wanted to collect the crown from Labiel so he can burn it. But Labiel took the crown to the hand, so he would not be able to reach. He did not want to hand over the crown to Rainold. Actually, Labiel did not expect such behavior from Rainold, which now makes him understand that everyone from Lord Dark Lessa's side is an idiot person with the way they behave. Meanwhile, why Rainold so much hated the white crown was that he did not know why it was so important that Labiel himself did not want him to burn it. Therefore, Labiel now asked him if he still wants to get his sister back, but Rainold did not give an answer, rather he was just obsessed with burning the crown. So Labiel just gave it to him and he collected it. Rainold, looking at the crown, saying that he did not know that it would eventually reach that extent in his entire life, of using the crown to save his little sister. And since he really loves his little sister, he decided to do it, if that is a step to save his little sister. He was feeling remorseful while he was willing to do it at the same time. So Labiel urged him to pull himself together, as he did not care if Rainold would use the crown as a mop or a dish mat. Anything he wanted he should do with it, because he was already angry with the way he behaved at first. Rainold eventually wears the crown on his head, as he expected to feel some kind of aura. But he could not feel anything. He thought Labiel might be lying to him before. But Labiel just told him to focus and stop turning around talking too much. Therefore he calmed down, touching the crown and tried to call with it, saying hello. But Labiel corrected him that the crown was not a phone. Yet, he did not answer. He kept on saying hello, moving forward, but Labiel kept telling him that it is not a phone. However, it later got connected. Even the apostles, Rainild, Uriel, and Gabriel were all surprised that he would be the one communicating with them. As Rainold was trying to communicate to Gabriel, he could not hear Gabriel and others very well as he could not show them what he had seen and heard. So Rabiel, as he was popularly addressed by the apostles, told the apostles that he has taken the crown off, since it was Lord Ra's wish after all, but he claimed Rainold has seen and heard everything. All of a sudden, he made Rainold fall down so he can suffice through the guy's memories, and he was able to do that exactly, as he was able to get his keyword, which was Luciel. Therefore he dug to his deepest memories to find some things out. While digging deep in Rainold's memories, Rabiel found out about Rainold's past life and his little sister, as his little sister was seen engrossed in his story, until it was time for his little sister to fall asleep. So he decided to use that opportunity to go to the forest to pick some raspberries, in which he promised his little sister that he will return back as early as possible. After getting to the forest, he could not get any berries, and he wanted to find some, but he still wanted to return home early because of his little sister. While he was contemplating on what to do, that was when he sighted a young boy who was able to pluck few berries, so he asked him where he got that, and the boy explained to him he hardly sees those, because some children do come there to pluck wild berries, which makes the berries to be scarce. However, he told Rainold to go into the dark forest, where he said Rainold could find some berries. Rainold felt reluctant to go, as some elders had warned them against that forest before, that they should go there. But this young boy trucked Rainold, saying that the elders are lying, that there is nothing fearful in the dark forest. Rainold was confused, thinking if he should go, as at then, the young boy already waved at Rainold, as he was leaving to avoid getting late. Then, Rainold now understands that the boy was a weird kid, although he already left then. Rainold eventually went into the dark forest to pluck some raspberries. While he was there, he suddenly heard a voice telling him not to come to that forest anymore, as there were a lot of mountain animals there, which was dangerous for him. The voice was from a young guy who was not a human but a monster in human form. He decided to help Rainold that day,